Hello, I am Deb Coviello, the Drop-In CEO, and I am so grateful you've joined me for the introduction of season 5 of the Drop-In CEO podcast, where week after week I speak to the most amazing people and have them share their insights with you and hopefully inspire you. And just know I do these podcasts with my guests and myself so that I can connect with humanity, connect with you, and provide the resources you need so you can navigate your challenges and opportunities with confidence. So, welcome to season 5. Oh my, from the very first day, I said I can push this button and do a podcast when I did have a bit of self doubt. We started this journey, I think, in February of 2020. Yep, it was right before COVID. And here we are now. We are in the 470 or 480s of podcasts. Um, and I had to jump on here. Now, I have had some colleagues and friends tell me, we miss your solo episodes, Deb. And I do miss them as well. I have had, from time to time, I will do one solo a month, maybe two solos a month, and then start putting in a couple guests here and there. And then what was starting to happen was I wasn't very intentional. I was connecting with so many CEOs that I wanted to speak to have them tell their story, inspire you. And I wanted to be inspired that my backlog was increasing so much that I said, oh, I got to do something. So I yanked my solo episodes out of the podcast. But don't worry, they're all on YouTube. If you go back to December of 2023 and up until now, I have been doing my solo episodes, but I've been simply putting them out on YouTube so that you can see me there. So I'm doubling my production. But then here, I've been, like I said, been interviewing so many people that now I am producing this podcast twice a week. So, yes, I'm driving my production company crazy. I am cranking out conversations, but it's all about my theme for 2025 that I was thinking about just before I jumped on here. 2025 is connecting with humanity, connecting with humanity. And really, I've been doing that for quite some time, but I am really amping up this game. But let me take it back a little bit. And just so you know, just to give you some perspective, again, my team says, Deb, you should jump on and kick off season 5. So I am here today. I may not be doing more solo episodes on my podcast for the near term. Again, please enjoy Mondays and Fridays. We release a new amazing guest on the show. But if you say, Deb, we'd really like you to return, I've been thinking about how can I either increase production or maybe spin off another podcast. But just remember, go to YouTube, drop in CEO, look for Deb Coviello. You can see me there, and I have additional insights for you there. So just wanted to share that with you a little bit, and just know today is not very scripted. So you might hear Deb going here, there, and everywhere, not her usual structured self, but there is a theme here. So let's go back a little bit. I do have a theme every year, and I want to let you know that this inspiration for having a theme every year is from Jeffrey Shaw. Now, when I started this adventure of starting the Drop In CEO, I was in transition out of my corporate job, and I was walking a lot. I was reading a lot, writing a lot, crying a lot, and listening to this podcast I found sponsored by Jeffrey Shaw. And back then it was The Creative Warrior. And The Creative Warrior was the exactly what I needed at the time to help me go big. And I've been listening to his episodes. He's 800 or 900 episodes in. It has since been evolved to the self employed life. Again, really focused on us that are meant to beat a different drum. And that is where I am. But in his teachings, one of the things he talked about was having a theme for every year. And it could be the same, but at least put a stake in the ground and have that theme and let that be your guiding light for the rest of the year. And then out of that becomes the strategy behind it and then the tactical work. Now, just to go back for some perspective, well, Deb, what was 2024? 2024 was go big. And I'm still actually looking at my battle board, my whiteboard, thanks to Alex Neal, who talked to me about the battle board. She's also been a coach in my life. There's going to be a lot of credit going out to everybody because Deb is an evolution in progress. So 2024 was go big. So everything that I plan to do is to prepare me to go big. Now, Deb, that's egotistical. No, it's not. I mean, going big depends on the context. I have so much I want to give back to humanity that I had to build a strategy that enabled me to start evolving my voice and putting me out on more stages, more platforms to be able to go reach a larger audience, go big, and be able to inspire and elevate and shine a light on all the people that I care about, whether you are a CEO, C suite leader. But I deeply care. I deeply, deeply care about those leaders who are up and coming or those that are highly talented and get stuck. Now, that's a whole nother story. Why I don't market so much to that demographic for some reason or other, those people that are up and coming or might get stuck really just enjoy this podcast as a resource. And that's fine. I am here to be in service in that capacity. But I also really do all this work because it's the C suite leaders that I drop in and help. Usually, these CEOs of small and medium sized companies also sincerely care about their team. And so while I'm in there solving or helping them with some kind of big, hairy problem, I am also serving those leaders in their care and helping them to elevate their impact and learn new skills. So that's kind of how things trying to transition this year is go big, but focusing on the C-suite leader. I am focusing on my well-being and my mindset. So I've had some coaches, I've lost a bit of weight. I feel and look wonderful to keep this body going. But stepping back, and I just had I have 4 amazing conversations in the last 24 hours that helped me to all of a sudden, this year's theme, 2025. I'm changing it from go big because go big was all those things that I was doing to help me evolve to be able to do that more purposeful work. And so the 2025 season, the 2025 year, the theme is connecting with humanity, meaning everything I do is with intention to connect with you, to get in your ears, get in your face, get through your writing, through my writing or what have you. I want to connect with you. And a little by little, as I put more of my content out there, you have been reaching out to me. And I am so grateful that you've not just been lurking out there, that you actually come forward and say, Deb, I'd love a conversation. So thank you for all those people that have had courage. But I'll still put out this content if you're still listening and watching, and it's not the right time to engage. The reason why connecting with humanity is so important to me is because I was just talking to somebody, and I'll tell you a bit about his story shortly, was the fact that, we're only on this earth so long, and we come in with nothing and we leave with nothing. And so all the tangible effects that one has are just things. But what can we leave behind such that we leave our legacy, which is part of my brand is what can we do as humans is to leave our legacy when we take time in our present and have real conversations and connect with people. We put out this content such as the podcast or being on a stage or what have you. We're trying to inspire others for greater purpose or help them at a time of distress. And so all I can do is leave a lasting impact by the memories I leave with you and how I made you feel and how did we make humanity better because we had an interaction. This is a solo episode. I'm looking at myself on the camera right now. Nobody's in the room with me right now. But I'm having a one-way conversation with you. But I hope in the process you're thinking and listening about your own situation. What is your theme for 2025? Think about it. Let's be your guiding light. And from there, write on a piece of paper what are those things that are going to help you towards that theme, that lofty goal. So, so we've talked a bit about my theme for this year, and obviously, I'm going to continue to be speaking to C-suite leaders that I am trying to connect with to inspire, bring their stories forward to you. Um, but each one of those is an encounter that in that moment, in those 30 to 40 minutes that I'm with that leader, I'm going to be shining a light on them to make them truly realize the value that they have so that when we put these podcasts out in the world, they have a bit of content, a bit of their legacy that they can preserve and share with others. Whether we ever meet with each other ever again, I am shining a light on them. I am connecting with humanity, and we are leaving a bit of their legacy for a lasting impact. And again, you've heard me talking about I don't just provide a service, but I and the work that I do provide a lasting impact, whether it's me just now putting out the solo or when we interact. Now, let's talk about humanity. I have four amazing stories. Again, this is spur of the moment. It wasn't scripted, but then I realized as I was getting ready to go into the Christmas holiday, tomorrow's the last day I'm actually going to be working, and then I've got 2 amazing weeks with family, that are all here. My mother's already here right now with us. We've been catching up and cooking and just enjoying each other's company, but let's go back to one such encounter I had yesterday. Now, yesterday, 5 o'clock, had to meet with 2 of my colleagues, and we had to do a transaction. We had to talk about the status of a project and where we were going, and boom, 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 we got through the transaction. Not one bit of connection to humanity. We were there just to do work. And at the end of the conversation, I talked to this person. And if somebody from this company is listening, well, thank you for listening. But I'm going to talk about this person, these people in generality. So I have the good fortune of working for an international company, and one person was originally from South Africa. Another person was originally from India. The person from South Africa now is in New Zealand. And I thought, they've got the most interesting accent. And I am a curious person. At the very end of this conversation, I said to them, I said, I've been meaning to ask you for the longest time, what brought you from South Africa to New Zealand? And the interesting thing that happened is their eyes lit up, and automatically they just wanted to tell this amazing story that they had of how they took the decision to move the family from South Africa to New Zealand. And they talked about what they really loved about South Africa. They talked about what they really, really appreciated about New Zealand. And, 17 years later, that's the story. And the thing was is they were just lit up while they were telling their story, and I was excited, and the interesting thing was by the time we were all done, we're all smiling versus looking tired and exhausted at the end of the day and on to the next meeting. We connected. We connected. And my thought for you is I know sometimes in meetings we're trying to be efficient, show up. Maybe you've already had drinks and had a social activity with those people. And so there's no need to have small chit chat, but maybe you also try to make chit chat about the sports. What did you do with your family? But just know sometimes we're really not present because we got that agenda to get through as soon as everybody has shown up in the room. So I just want to propose to you that be curious, people about their background. If you don't know them on a deeper level, look at them light up and have their humanity shine through. So, next story. Oh my God. And if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you can see my energy on how I really care about these people. So, I'm going to give a shout out, Peter Gorel. Peter Gorel, thank you so much for being in my life. He was one of those people that just popped onto my radar February of 2019 when I was just starting to do this work. And he just saw me on social media and had the courage to strike up a conversation with him. And we've been friends on and off through the years. He was the person that at one point said, Deb, get over yourself. I was so stiff the way I showed up in my videos that show up on LinkedIn. He says, get over yourself, just loosen up, be yourself. And you know what? That's what you got today. You got me and my gestures, my eye rolls. I mess up my words sometimes. I get tongue tied. But you know what? That's me. That's my humanity. Take it or leave it. But Peter, oh my goodness, he's just like another person I know, a mentor in my life. Shout out to Dave Hasse, where when we meet, I now know not to have an agenda. Just say, hey, and how are things going? And let the conversation ebb and flow. And let me tell you, oh my, I was not disappointed. Peter and I went back and forth about different things. Yes, we touched a little bit on business and what was changing and what we did, but we talked about sunrises. We talked about death. We talked about social media. We talked about travel. We talked about family. We talked about our health journeys. And all the while, I've got a full page of notes here of inspiration, all because we were present and I wasn't looking for a transaction. I didn't have an agenda. We just let life be. And by the way, he's also inspired me that for a week or two, I'm not going to be doing social media. So I don't want to let you guys down. I'm going to be pre-scheduling everything for the next 2 weeks. Oh my, I've got a lot to get done this weekend. But just having the time to be inspired by humanity and not be such in a rush, slow down a little bit. And if you can't slow down because there's so much to get done, I would challenge you. Is everything that's on your list necessary to get done? And it might be. But could you start planning for a future where not everything is important? You don't have to do everything so that maybe you can turn your social media off or have just wonderful conversations with others and connecting with humanity. So, Peter, wish you well. Thank you for being in my life. This other person, I'm helping a friend out recruit for a particular position. This is the beauty of the network. About a year or so ago, and continuing today, I said, I just want to connect with all kinds of quality and operations people because these are the people I care about. This is my tribe. As you know, I'm a quality and operational excellence professional. I am a leader. I've been in many different industries. That's how the drop in CEO came. You can plug and play either in a quality role, an operations role. That's how I roll. But along the way, I still value that network. So I've got this huge network. So when a colleague asks me or a recruiter asks me, "Hey, Deb, do you know somebody?" I've got this huge network. So these two people, I'm going to share their story with you a bit. The transaction was I was just going through resumes that were sent my way, and I was going to pre-screen them and channel them to my colleague and friend who is helping to recruit for a position in their company. And I met this person. I'm not going to say his name, but I've got these little plus signs all over my paper because not only did this person share their value with me, they didn't necessarily go step by step through their entire resume, but they just showed up. They were dressed professionally. They were relaxed. They knew what they were capable of doing, and they were just so connected with their story, with their value, and with me. And very personable. They intertwined a little bit about their family and why they took certain decisions along their career path. They owned their narrative, and I was just so entranced by their story. And I immediately knew I was going to pass this person's resume off to my colleague. But I must have about 25 little plus signs on here because this was a real human being that also understood the value of just connection. And even though our interaction was only 30 minutes, I just said, "Oh, this is somebody that regardless of where this job opportunity goes, that I'm channeling their resume to my friend, I just want to stay connected to this person. I want to know where they land." And you never know through the network. Maybe I can help them again someday. Maybe they need me, I need them, or maybe I can connect them to a resource that would be valuable. That's what we should be doing. We're all connected in some way to everybody. I mean, you hear the thing set, 7 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. It's a joke, it's a thing, but you know what? We're all connected. If we go back long enough, there is connectivity. If you just take the time to listen to people's stories and say, "Oh, yes, I've had the same experience. Oh, yeah, I got friends in Tampa," what have you. We should be listening and being present to people we interact with. Yes, there's sometimes a business transaction sewn into it. But if we lead a little bit differently and just wanting to get to know that person and feeling a warmth or a connection to somebody, it changes the complete dynamic of the relationship because, at the end of the day, we're in the business of relationship building. And quick shout out to Nancy. Nancy, who is my sales coach right now, while she is labeled and branded as a sales coach, she often said to me, "I'm really help people build rapport and build relationships because we buy or seek people that we have a relationship with and not necessarily about the product or service that they can provide." So take that as a lesson. Be present in your conversations with people. Yes, you're trying to glean or give information. There's usually some element of transaction at the undertow of all of it. But lead with the fact of what am I going to get to know different about that person? Am I going to get a fun fact about them? Am I going to have an opportunity to say, "Deb's a curler. Deb loves cooking and baking. Deb used to be on a radio show." Yeah, go figure. And all this stuff, we want to come away feeling good about the interactions because there's so much in this world, so much energy that can bring you down. Connecting with humanity is one way where we can uplift each other. And so, my final story. Oh my God, I interacted with this person. Another person was kind enough to share their resume with me and also entertain the opportunity to meet with me. Again, in me reviewing their credentials and passing it on to my friend who was looking and to help source this particular quality role. Now, I will tell you, when I looked at their resume, being very superficial and transactional, they had amazing technical credentials, but I wondered if they had the right leadership credentials. But I said, let me give this person a chance. Let me not judge. Because in this world, so often we will look at flat text and make judgments on people. But we have to have the courage and also the depth of desire to connect with humanity and see if there's anything three-dimensional about this individual. And so we got on this conversation, and I noticed the person was just a little bit um, formal and wanted to make a good impression. So they were, standing or sitting very straight and answered all my questions very professionally and tactically and technically delivered the work that they've done. But I was looking at them and I says, there's more to this person. So I kind of like lean over and lean into the screen and this Zoom bubble that we live in. And I just said, but what are you really passionate about? I know what you have done, but what is it about the work that you've done that you really love? Which is more of an emotional connection with somebody. And so I just wanted to connect with them. And as soon as I started asking those kinds of questions, their eyes lit up. You saw them loosen up. They started sharing more about their persona, not just what's on their resume. Oh my. And then I said, oh, there's something more to this person. When I asked more questions, one of the things they said was, well, I want to be more personable, but somebody once told me that I came across arrogant. Oh my God, I wanted to lean into that and I bit my lip. I didn't want to say anything so much, but here was such a talented professional that received feedback that they were arrogant. And I just had to go with it. I said, permission to give some feedback to this person. And I said, well, to the credit of the person that gave you feedback is a gift. Seek to understand, but there may be a reason, maybe based on the audience. Maybe you were sharing your technical capability, but these people might not have been at the same level of understanding. And unless you can make a human connection and maybe lift them up to the level of understanding, you could be perceived as arrogant because you know your stuff so well. So for all those people that have been labeled or given feedback, you might come across arrogant. Take it as a gift. It is information and data to take it, to understand the context it was delivered, but also there's an opportunity to change or change the narrative. Because what happened to this person is I think they went small. And I got the same exact feedback in my career. And so I asked permission again, could I share some insight? I said, arrogance in the wrong, confidence in the wrong environment can be construed as arrogance. Confidence in the right environment, you are seen for your value. And so I just shared this with the person. You could see them taking copious notes. And when we were done with this interaction, I said, I really like you. And I really care about you because I see a bit of myself in you. I said, you should be confident, but know your audience and where they're at in the spectrum and being able to pull them along. I said, I'm going to stay in touch with you. I said, I don't want to judge. I said, when I look at your resume, I don't necessarily see the credentials of being able to perform at the level that I think, but I absolutely believe in your potential and I'm not going to pre-screen you. I'm going to pass your resume along because I think you could grow into the role that is needed, or you could definitely be that support person, or because I care about you. I want to support you. I want to see where you land, or maybe there is another opportunity out there where I can position you because this was a good human, a talented human, and one with passion that absolutely anybody would be so excited to have them in their workplace. And if any of you are out there and are seeking talent like that, reach out to me. I know so many talented people, and maybe they've not yet been able to articulate their value, or maybe they're in environments that their value is not being seen. And so my job here is to help people's humanity and talents be seen. to shine a light on their gifts. Whether it's a CEO of a company or an up and coming professional, I am here because I can see you for who you really are as a person, help you see the person that you are or meant to be. And that's part of the Drop In CEO brand. So that is the kickoff of 2025, connecting with humanity. And I'd love to connect with you. If you don't want to connect with me, that's okay, because I'm still here for you. But think about in your life, who are the people that maybe you can network with? When you have certain people in your circle, are you present? And do you shine a light on their gifts and make them feel appreciated? We are humans, and this is the legacy we want to leave. On that note, thank you for dropping in on the podcast. I am so excited to be able to kick off this year, the first of many, many, many more years of the Drop In CEO. I want to wish everyone good health, happiness, and success in all aspects of your career and your interaction with your family and community. And also, don't forget connecting with yourself. So, Deb Coviello, I'm the Drop In CEO. I am here for you. All I want to do is see you succeed, especially like my mentor, Dave Hasse. He sat across from me at a restaurant way in the beginning and said, I don't know that much about you, but I know enough, and all I want to do is see you succeed. And on that, I want to wish you all well and much success. Thank you.